We had had a tragedy in the family, Thanksgiving Day of 2022, where we lost our oldest brother. And all of 2023, I pretty much was sick the whole year. And then it just kept getting worse. I had a really bad scare in August or September of 2023 where I had an infection and went sepsis, and then had another scare in December of that year.
I've been a nurse for 15 years. I've always felt kind of like a square peg trying to fit in a round hole working in the hospital system. At urgent care, people would come in and say, I think I might have a UTI and maybe strep throat. And I was supposed to tell them, which one thing would you like to be seen for today?
Years of people that you can't do anything to treat Alzheimer's or dementia. What started out as a professional interest transformed pretty quickly into a personal journey, having been pre-diabetic. Not only do I have Alzheimer's in my family history, but that I have some pretty scary genes for my risk.
So I have a history of almost 20 years of migraines at this point. I've tried everything under the sun and nothing really works.
For me personally, it's been an interesting journey because I was in charge of taking our attendance at church for all the females. And I'd been doing that for almost 2 years. Same women I've gone to church with for 14 years. And it would take me the full hour to find their name. I just couldn't locate it. I knew it. I knew that it started with an A, so I would have to go to the directory and look through the names because there was just a wall. I was just blocked from being able to find their names, even though I knew them. And it was very frustrating to me. But I just got used to doing that because that's how my brain worked.
The whole thing started with Junior Seau committing suicide. Junior and I had played together for 4 years, and he had a number of concussions. And this is something that a lot of people have a hard time believing unless they've played football, that you could have anywhere from 5 to 10 concussions in a game.
So my word for 2024 was health, and I was determined to figure out what to do to get back on track. After I heard Eric speak, I was like, I don't care what it takes. I love what this person is saying. It resonates. And I loved his approach and a Mind for All Seasons approach to things.
The doctor that I'm working for said, have you ever heard of the ENHANCE protocol or Hal Kramer? And so I was like, no. And he said, I have tons of patients that come in that say, my parents have Alzheimer's or dementia, and I don't want that. So that led me to Googling about the ENHANCE protocol.
I met Eric for the first time at a healthcare professionals conference. It was staggering to hear, after years of telling people that you can't do anything to treat Alzheimer's or dementia, he was showing evidence of improvement, like objective measures from early in the experience until months after they had participated in the ENHANCE protocol. And I said, I know I have to have a conversation with this guy. We went to dinner, and it was the most eye-opening conversation that I've had in a very long time.
I saw Eric speak, and I immediately was like, wow, I need this, and my entire family needs this because there's a history of Alzheimer's in my family, but I also have these migraines. So I was like, well, maybe we can kill two birds with one stone.
About 6 months ago, we had Eric Collette come and introduce a Mind for All Seasons and what they could offer to us as a business, but us on a personal level as well. We thought, as the corporate or home office side of the business, that it would be beneficial for us to walk the walk. And the only way you can really understand that is if you have the opportunity to live it.
Steve Young's foundation paid for both Corey and I to go there.
For the first time in my life, I'm getting close to 7 hours of sleep. I really feel like it saved my life.
Every time that I listen to a master class or that I get to do office hours, I'm like, this is healthcare. This is amazing.
About 3 weeks in, I was sitting there on a Sunday in church, and I was almost in tears because I didn't know that would be an ability that I could achieve. I was like, that's Carol, that's Diane, that's Melody. I could tell everybody, and that was miraculous for me.
I've just noticed that I can get through the day and not feel exhausted, and I can go for a run, and I'm actually running longer than I've ever ran before. I guess this is just what happens when you're actually healthy.
In only 4 months, I saw my cognitive scores go from 25th percentile to well above the 50th, and many of my nutrient levels improving. And these days I sleep significantly better. I have 4 kids, and I don't feel perpetually exhausted and demand to only play games that let me lay on the couch. It's given me the strength to rise to the many different responsibilities I have now, and it's pretty amazing.
I wrote a check to the foundation after we were done because it was so worth it. It was, worth twice as much. I do know that I scored in the 60, 65-ish percentile early on, and in the last one it was somewhere low 90s, mid 90s, something like that. And just knowing those approximations is pretty remarkable. And here, this is even more important about that death. I mean, I was sweating like a greased pig the first couple of times I did it, because it is not easy. And then last time I was like, yeah, whatever, I'm just chilling. And it was easy.
Even if you don't have traumatic brain injury, this is something you need to do for yourself. The things that you learn through Randy's roadmap have changed our lives. Everything has improved.